Hello, my fellow gamers! Welcome back to Comfortable Gaming. We're talking best day one releases coming to Game Pass in 2022 and 2023. What you should be looking out for, what to play. There's some awesome games on the horizon to finish off the year, and we're looking really good into 2023 with a lot of great day one releases on Game Pass. With further ado, let's just jump straight into the video. And starting off the list with one of my favorites, Plague Tale Requiem, coming 18th of October 2022. And this is a sequel, obviously, to a Plague Tale Innocence, as you continue the story of her and her brother in this really gruesome and really diverse story that I love in this game. It's such a serious, well-designed stealth game that the story is beautifully written. It's very dark and it's very gritty. And I love that about it. There's just so much to enjoy here. If you're looking for a really great single player story game to play on Game Pass, if you haven't played the first one, download it now and play it before the second one comes in October. A really great game, and I can't wait to play the second one. Coming 21st of October, Scorn 2 Game Pass, day one. I'm super hyped for this one, guys. I gotta say it. I do love my horror games, so if you love Dead Space, Resident Evil, like I do, Fear growing up, I'm super hyped for this game. Just in its sense, it's got such an eerie, weird, creepy, completely messed up world. Like a Silent Hill vibe I get a little bit from it. I love it, and I like its more space type of thing. So this could be a really big one this year in October for Game Pass. And I can't wait to play it. And it's coming in October, a great Halloween horror month as it is. So coming 21st, there's a lot to look forward to in this game. It's a first-person shooter horror game, and I can't wait to play. And to cap off 2022, we're getting High on Life 13th December 2022. From the creators of Rick and Morty comes a really wacky first-person shooter. Looks stunning. I love this wild, over-the-top, crazy-ass story going into space, probably different planets and stuff. So I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of Rick and Morty moments in this game. And if you love Rick and Morty, it's a great TV show if you haven't checked it out. So it's got that sort of goofiness. So obviously, if you watch the show, you'll feel right at home here, and will definitely, I think, feel like that way. I'm super excited for this game because it is a completely new take on first-person shooters with a completely wacky, weird sort of guns and craziness. There's just so much to love here for me that I personally want to enjoy. I just sometimes, as much as I love my serious games, sometimes I like to play just a completely wacky, awesome game, and this looks like it too. That's gonna make me laugh throughout the whole game, plus enjoying the gameplay. This one I'm probably the most hyped for this year, and it did get delayed. It was supposed to get it in September. Unfortunately, it was delayed, but I'm happy it's getting to be polished, and I'm happy it's coming in 2022. Then not another game delayed for us all the way in 2023. So this I'll probably be playing over Christmas and stuff. So looking forward to High on Life. Coming hopefully early 2023, Lies of P, and this is set in the Pinocchio universe, believe it or not, and it's a dark, gritty version of Pinocchio. And ever since this game got announced now in Gamescom, I am super hyped. Someone who's a Dark Souls fan and loves Elden Ring so much in these sort of games, so it's gonna follow a little bit in Souls-like style combat game with difficult bosses and difficult challenges. Obviously not like classical From Software game that doesn't have too much of a story. So there's a really good story down here to dive into. Really good looking gameplay so far what we saw. I hope this game does really, really well, because it's something that we haven't seen in a long time, in a while, of something fresh, a fresh idea and take on Pinocchio that's completely weird and different, with following elements of really awesome games like Dark Souls. Has a little bit of Field of Dishonored to me. The way the art style is done, the costumes and things like that reminds me a lot of Dishonored. Maybe it's just me. So I'm super hyped for this one. I think this one I'm looking forward to the most in 2023. And I know there's a lot of great games coming in 2023. But this is my most hyped game for Game Pass and day one release for 2023. I know Starfield's coming, Redfall, and a lot of big games from Bethesda, Forza Motorsport, but this one, for me, I'm looking forward to most in 2023. Another awesome looking game we got announced at Gamescom, Atomic Heart, coming next year in 2023. This has a lot of feeling of Soviet, a little bit Russia to a sense. Maybe it's just me. Has a little bit of Bioshock in it, if you ask me, and a little bit of Fallout elements. Similar to Lies of P, it has a very weird world, and as it goes on, which I like. I love to see innovation in games. I like to see completely fresh ideas. I don't like to see carbon copies of stuff. I don't mind games borrowing a lot of things from great games. That's always a great thing, but I like something that's completely unique to itself. And as this game got announced at Gamescom, all this combat, the way it works, the guns, there's so many, you can use telekinesis powers, there's so many ways of doing things, and enemies and everything just looks absolutely weird and creepy, and this looks so unique. It's not something I've seen in a long while. It takes a lot of components from different games and stuff and just molds it into its own shell, I feel like. So super excited for something that's looking really interesting, a little bit different, coming to Game Pass next year. Now we have Starfield coming in 2023, and this is one of Bethesda's big juggernauts games that's been delayed this year to all the way to 2023. And as we recently got the gameplay, it did look very unfinished, and there's still a lot of things. Obviously, being a Bethesda game, I'm assuming this game is going to come out with a lot of bugs and jankiness, as it always does with all of their games. But I'm really worried about this game. I hope it doesn't flop, because there's so much I love here that I want to see. It's a Bethesda game that's set in space, and you go to different planets and all this craziness that they announced for the game, that I hope it lives up to the hype and they can achieve those things, because there's a lot to love here. And this is a game that's been delaying Elder Scrolls 6 for all these years, because they decided to focus all their attention on this game, do this game before Elder Scrolls 6. So I hope it pays out for them. I hope it pays out for us gamers, because Starfield is a really big game next year that's coming. And like I said before, who doesn't want another great Bethesda game to play? I've always been a huge fan of what they've done for the Fallout series. Elder Scrolls is one of my favorite games, so I always love playing their games, joining factions, doing so many things. One thing I give Bethesda and their specific games is to Elder Scrolls, to Fallout, and hopefully Starfield, is just that you can be yourself so much and create your own story in this game. And now, in a completely cool idea of going to planets, different factions around different planets, it's, if you love Mass Effect, and this is kind of wanting to have Mass Effect in a Bethesda style type of game for me. So I'm really looking forward to this, but I am really worried for this game. So hopefully this does well. This is a really big game coming day one to Game Pass next year. Another big Bethesda game, Redfall, coming in 2023, and this was also delayed, supposed to come in 2022. So we haven't been the most luckiest with games this year. There's been some great games this year, and there's been a lot of delays. For me personally, I'm not too hype about this game. Some people are really looking forward to, you set on this island, vampires have kind of taken over, and you can play a multiplayer game with your friends, jump in and kill a bunch of vampires. It comes from Arcane Studios. I do love their work. I love Prey, I love Dishonored. I really love their games. So from them to do kind of like a more co-op online shooter, I'm gonna give them benefit of the doubt. I'm definitely checking this game out. So far what it says, it hasn't resonated personally with me, but there's a lot to love here, and maybe a lot of people I've heard that really want this game and really want to play it and jump in with friends, kill a bunch of vampires. I love the idea of it. I love the concept. It's just so far what I saw, it's maybe personally just not for me, and that's just my own personal choice. I'm not a huge fan of these co-op shooters type of thing. But again, this can surprise me, and I love the art styles, and who doesn't like killing vampires? We all tired of killing zombies in most of these co-op games, so this being day one on Game Pass and killing a little bit of vampires, it's a nice little different approach. Coming in 2023, Diablo 4. And now, before anybody takes my head off, I know this still hasn't been announced that it's coming day one to Game Pass, but as the Activision Blizzard deal goes through soon, hopefully, as we'll be getting more and more information that the deal is reaching its end and things, it will probably be concluded hopefully by the end of the year, but I'm being realistic, probably by 2023. And we don't know exact date in 2023 when Diablo 4 is coming, but I'm hoping, this is just wishful thinking, that the Activision deal will go through and that Diablo 4 comes day one onto Game Pass, because this is a massive game. I absolutely love Diablo. I grew up playing Diablo, and I always play with family and friends this game, and I'm super excited for Diablo. So hopefully this will be day one onto Game Pass. Another big game to look forward to next year, Wulong Fallen Dynasty coming in 2023. Usually we don't get a lot of JRPGs and those sort of games onto the Xbox, and more of these games are now coming to Xbox thanks to new Xbox's approach of games and what people have been asking for. And this is a really epic looking game, obviously set in, I think, Chinese mythology. I'm probably right. I don't wanna. It does look. It's definitely not Japanese, and there's so much to love here. It looks like a really epic fantasy RPG story to really awesome and satisfying combat. What we saw so far, and that's a big release for Game Pass next year, and something that's not your typical Western type of game. Really exciting game to check out on Game Pass coming in 2023. Now, from the creators of one of the biggest games ever, Minecraft Legends, coming in 2023. If you have been living under the rock, if you don't know what Minecraft is, so Minecraft is similar to a game where you just go in and build your own world, build whatever you want. And this is a little bit of a different approach, like what they did with Minecraft Dungeons when it was a dungeon crawler. This is more focused a little bit more towards, I don't want to say RPG type of thing. Though obviously there's still elements of building. This is a Minecraft game after all. But it's a little bit more different style and more different things. As this franchise has blossomed, it became one of the best selling games of all time, and more ideas of Minecraft and people jump in to play it. It's hugely been successful, and it's a highly anticipated game, and to be day one on Game Pass next year is a really big bonus for the service. And I'm looking forward to playing this as well. You know, there's so many great games on the horizon on Game Pass, and having another Minecraft day one, why not, type of thing. So looking forward to this as well, coming in 2023. Hopefully early. We'll see which games drop when, and if maybe more games get delayed even longer next year. Hopefully not. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, coming in 2023. This was also delayed to 2023, and unfortunately due to the Ukraine war, this is a studio that comes from Ukraine. That's why this game was delayed, unfortunately, and I'm super can't wait for this game. I've always been a huge fan of the Stalker franchise, playing the original Shadow of Chernobyl, Killer Sky, Call of Pripyat. I've loved these games. So when I played Metro, for example, I absolutely loved Metro games, and I always said I can't wait for a new Stalker game. So this to be really revitalized, and this franchise to come back with a brand new game and day one on Game Pass, I'm super excited, and I can't wait to play this. So if you loved Metro, it's very similar to that. Radiation, all sorts of crazy monsters and things. Really exciting game coming in 2020. The new Forza Motorsport is coming next year. Super exciting, and this franchise has been delivering games for year in and year out for me personally. I love Forza Horizon, but it's nice to jump down to a little bit of a racing simulator than more of being that arcadey craziness that Forza Horizon is. Absolutely love Forza Horizon, but it's nice to jump into motorsport as well. And I feel like this is just going to be a really great game day one on Game Pass. To its visuals, to Forza is delivering every time they release a new game, I think. So I highly doubt this game won't do well. They've always been such a great racing franchise and a really big staple for Xbox. And I think what we saw in this gameplay when this was announced, the level of details in graphics and stuff, I think we're finally going to see a little bit as well of next-gen performance from these consoles. And I think this game will show a lot what the next-gen can do. Super exciting game coming next year. Next up, we got Ark 2 coming in 2023. This is obviously a sequel to Ark Evolved, and yeah, that's that game where you keep seeing Vin Diesel on a dinosaur trailer. So that's the one that's coming to Game Pass next year. I've never played these games. I might try them out as they come here. It's an interesting franchise. Some people really love these games. They've never really resonated with me personally, but you know, I'm always open to try and revisit games, and they might surprise you later on. Some people really love these games, so it's exciting that a new one's coming in 2023. A lot of people are looking forward to this game. And last on this list, we got Flintlock Siege of Dawn coming in 2023. And this is an interesting action RPG that's also a little bit different, something a little bit different. I don't know too much. I've seen what's from gameplay. The game really looks stunning. Hopefully it will initialize more performance from the consoles. It's going to be going into its third year, the consoles, and I just want to see a little bit more next gen. Everything still feels like I'm playing games from the previous gen graphically, so I want to see some really awesome next gen performances. I love the concept of this game a lot. And I hope it has a really good story, because it looks like a really fun RPG with a very interesting world and story. Really interesting game. Definitely gonna try it. Day one on Game Pass, so you can't really go wrong with that. And something that looks this interesting and you don't have to pay for it, and that's the joy of having Game Pass, I always say, and especially these big day one releases. So Flintlock Siege of Dawn is looking really exciting for me, and there's so many great games to look forward to, guys, next year. And it's a pity a lot of games got delayed in 2022, but long as they come out great, and that's the whole point, is to have fun and enjoy really good games, and hopefully Game Pass delivers, and these games deliver some really awesome games in 2023, because let's be honest, 2022 was a little stale, but it's closing off quite big with a couple of big games coming at the end of the year. So thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.